7 o'clock. We'll call the September 25th meeting to order and start out with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I got the chair.
Sorry. My foot's in the wrong spot. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doesn't have to dive in there.
Huh?
Doesn't have to dive in there.
Yeah, I know, huh? All right. We'll start off with the approval of minutes for August 28th.
Mr. Chairman, I wish to move the August 28th minutes. I've read them, and I find them to be substantially accurate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's unanimous. Next one is COC 242-1875.
Commission will recall that this order was issued in December of 2023, and it governed installation of geothermal wells to replace the current energy source, which is oil in the home. The wells were to be 84 feet from the BBW and trenching for connection to the house about 46 from the BBW. So we issued the order. The homeowner provided a copy to the solar company. A building permit was submitted. I withheld my sign-off on the building permit in order for pre-construction requirements to be in place. The homeowner posted the bond, recorded the order and posted the bond, and I had, the homeowner fine-tooth combed the order, actually, and there really wasn't language in there that gave me the ability to totally withhold the building permit. So I signed off conditionally that, the permit is ready to go, but no work can start until pre-construction requirements are set in place. I believe during that time, there was a team change on the solar company's part. The new team reviewed the order of conditions and had reservations, and they unfortunately withdrew from the project. So the homeowner has decided not to go forward with the project and would like to get their bond back. So in order to do that, we need to issue a certificate of compliance that can be recorded at the registry. Kunal Bhatia is with us this evening, if you have any questions for him, but that's sort of the long and short of it. And considering this unique situation where, the contractor bailed out on them, they were seeking a waiver from the fee for the certificate of compliance. So that's it in a nutshell.
I was just curious, were there any special conditions, or was it mostly just?
No, it was more, no, I mean, just the pre-construction, like making sure all the dewatering BMPs are in place and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, we had gone through a full list of the 54 or so conditions that were in the pre-construction, and they basically were pointing out all the risks associated with all of that and to do everything in sequence. So because it took 7 months from approving the permit to issuing the permit, and then the very next step was going to the health department, in which they were questioning the well position due to the proximity of the septic tank, we would have been back to square one, and we've already been through about 2 years to get this permitted in the first place. So then the drilling team, which Amy alluded to, after it went from their permitting department to their drilling team, the drilling team read this with a fine-tooth comb. We went back and forth, and we weren't able to alleviate their concerns about the risks of moving forward with the project, given the current sort of challenges.
So I have no problem with your request. I think it's a shame you couldn't get the project done. It sounds
so
like
too.
an excellent project.
Mhm.
And I guess we won't ever understand exactly the inside and out of it, but
I'm happy to share that. I've
you don't have
written a postmortem, so I'm happy to come to a future meeting and share more of that if you're interested.
I would be interested at some point, yes.
Sure.
So I'm all set, Mr. Chairman. I have no
Yeah,
objection.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I don't understand how it was so erroneous about the project, because pretty much the order condition was boilerplate that we approve on everything. The well and the septic system, that, I didn't even see that part, but I'd be interested to hear the story. I think he got blown off, to be truthful. But
I don't blame them. I mean, you know me. I've been coming to see you guys quite regularly, and I enjoy working with you and trying to bring together many parties. I think I did put in quite a bit of effort to try and have both, education around this first of a kind type project for North Andover. And I was hoping, similarly to you, that we could convince them to stay on board, but they had put in too much time, energy, and effort on this one, and they just simply couldn't proceed with the current sort of order, given that it was boilerplate, given that we had to do everything in sequence, et cetera. But I don't want to spend too much time on the reasons. I'm more than happy to come back with sort of the postmortem, and we can all learn from that experience if you're interested.
Thank you. Brad?
Obviously, it seems fine to me. Sad we can't get the project done, and if we got a vehicle to return the application fees, I'd be in favor of that too. That could be done.
So Amy, I'll offer whatever motion you think you need to hear. Is it just a motion to grant a certificate of compliance, or is any added language needed?
No, just the certificate will indicate that the work never started. The applicant doesn't intend to undertake the project, and if they ever do in the future, they'll have to refile
Okay.
some sort of
And
application.
we're gonna
with
waive
us.
the fee.
And waive the fee.
That would be my motion.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good. Thanks.
Thanks.
Next one is 242-1871, 95 Olympic Lane.
Alrighty. Okay, so this order was issued in August of 2023, and it governed utilizing an existing footprint of a one-story garage, a top of deck and stairs, to expand it, to create a garage bay and a first floor, three-season room and a second floor living space, construction of a new deck and stairs off of the three-season room, and expand patio to square it off. Patio was modified a little bit, outside the 50, and the dry well, the new roof surface has been connected to the dry well, and that is shown on the plan, the area of the dry well. Site stable, erosion controls are out, in substantial compliance. Homeowners are here this evening if you have questions.
Marissa?
I don't have any questions.
Yeah.
No questions.
Brad?
Do we have a picture of the offending triangle piece?
It's this, in between,
They were in the 50?
yeah, it's snuck in 17, it's like 17 square feet. It's like literally like that.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Motion?
What are you looking for?
Full COC with
COC.
ongoing conditions?
That's all, just a full COC?
Yep.
No exceptions?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Thank you.
You're all set. Thanks, guys.
Small project, NACC 333, 190 Granville.
Let's see. Get this thing here. Alrighty, so this comes under a category C for sheds and outbuildings less than 100 square feet outside the 50-foot no-build zone. Project entails installation of an 8 by 12 shed, which is about 96 square feet, about 51 feet from the wetland. I actually measured 54 when I was out there. The applicant engaged wetland consultant Mark West, as there was a BVW nearby and the stream that you see in this picture. I wanted to make sure that we knew where the BVW was, and the stream was fairly straightforward. So the closest resource is the bank of the stream, and the shed is outside the 100-foot buffer zone to the BVW to the north. The area of the shed is existing mown lawn, and it wouldn't require any removal of vegetation. And the applicant plans to place crushed stone underneath the shed. Homeowners with us this evening if you have any questions, but I'd recommend issuing or finding that this qualifies under category C and approve the project as proposed with a post-installation site inspection to verify compliance.
Thank you.
That's it.
Motion?
I move that we consider this a category C project, and I move that we approve it as outlined on the recommendation page.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Thank you, you're all
Thanks.
set.
So I'll get that permit out to you probably early next week. Okay, thanks so much, Matt.
Okay, RDA 224 Chestnut Street.
Alrighty. So the commission will recall that this project involves demolition of an existing deck and stairs and rebuilding in the same footprint, but extending the deck footprint by 2 feet via cantilever. So the new footings would remain where they are today. An additional set of stairs are now proposed to project perpendicular to the house, so no closer to the wetland than the existing deck. As the house was built in 1985, so it predates, our local wetland regulations, so things are closer than usual. Let's see. Waiver request has been submitted. So at the last meeting, the sketch plan didn't show the cantilever clearly, so I'll pull that up next. No. So here we go. So we've got the footings with the 2-foot cantilever, stairs, that will get a concrete footing. And then the existing stairs will be rehabbed, but stay in the same place. Homeowners here with contractor, so if you have questions.
No, I don't have any questions. It looks like the design was revised back to show the cantilever.
Al?
What's the extent of excavation, if any?
So just probably the new staircase, having a couple of footings right there.
Footings at the staircase?
Yep.
No other excavation planned?
No. The existing footings should be sufficient as long as Joel agrees.
Okay. Would that be by hand?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
unfortunately.
Which one of you is digging?
Not me.
Application reflects it's being built now, that's all we need.
I have no problem.
So, I guess you need to vote on granting the waiver for this work, which is, let's see, existing stairs are 12 feet from the bank of the intermittent stream. Existing deck is 19, and the cantilever 17, but that's above grade, so,
So existing conditions are 12 feet?
yeah,
That's the,
yeah, that's the closest,
they're not proposing to get any closer.
right. Right.
I'll move the waiver request.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, and that's unanimous. Plus it's a wall here.
Yep.
So then, recommend that you close the hearing and issue a negative number 3 determination with conditions that require installation of erosion controls, a pre-construction with me, the homeowner and the contractor to review scope of work, make sure erosion controls are installed, and then schedule a post-construction meeting just to verify compliance and approve removal of erosion controls.
Okay, I'll move that. I'll move that we close and issue a -3 with the conditions as outlined.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. So I'll get that permit out to you probably next week sometime.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Next one is 1265 Salem Street.
All right, this project entails rehabilitation of an existing 3-season porch and its associated stairs within the existing footprint, adding a section of deck that won't have any stairs but will connect directly to the rear porch, parallel to the house. The wetland was flagged by Norse Environmental, and Justine, our field inspector, now departed, confirmed its accuracy. Existing porch is 52 feet from the wetland, and the new deck will be 56, so not closer than existing conditions. New footings for both the porch and the deck will be required. They're estimating to be 10-foot diameter, 4-foot deep. Construction access and stockpiling are limited to the driveway, which is right on the side, and work to be accomplished by hand. Homeowners are here this evening if you have any questions for them.
Thank you. Sir, any questions?
So the new deck will be the same level as the existing porch, and will the vegetation or whatever's underneath it remain? Or is there any plans to?
There's actually just lawn there,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna disturb it at this point,
Okay, that's all.
except for footings.
No questions? I have no questions.
Brad? Motion?
I'll move that we close the hearing and issue a -3 determination with the conditions and as listed under recommendations.
Which is basically the same that I just said, erosion controls, meeting with your contractor, and then post-construction meeting.
I have a motion and a second, yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
Who
Thank you.
seconded?
Thank you.
I did.
Okay, thank you, guys. I'll get that permit to you probably next week. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, NOIs, 242-1894. Request to continue until 10/9/24.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Next one is 242-1900. Request to continue until October 9th.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Next one is 242-1901. Request to continue to 10/23.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. All right, next one is 242-1899, 865 and 877 Johnson Street.
Alrighty, Commission will recall that this project entails 2 new single-family homes. One lot is a tear down and rebuild, or on a new foundation. And you'll recall that this was a 4-lot subdivision that was subject to a land disturbance permit with the planning board. So stormwater management requirements under that permit were required. At the last meeting, the commission requested that the engineer provided plans that have been stamped by the presenting engineer or his firm. Bill Dufresne, the project engineer, contacted Jack Sullivan, the previous engineer that stamped the detail plans and the stormwater BMPs. Jack shared his CAD files, and we have email correspondence in your packets confirming that. And this was really the only outstanding issue at the last hearing. Bill Dufresne is here this evening if you have questions. So we've got the detail sheet with Mr. Merriman.
I'm all set, thanks.
Yeah.
I also am all set.
All right. Motion?
I move that we close the hearing and issue a decision within 21 days.
All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. That was the easy one for you, right?
That was an easy one.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next one is 242, 1903, 186 Bradford Street.
Alrighty. So the commission will recall that this project involves abandoning the existing septic system and connecting to town sewer via a force main and pump tank. Existing septic connection is at the rear of the house, closer to the wetland. Work will take place within 100 foot of the buffer zone, and new pump tank is about 25, maybe a little less, 26, I'm sorry, but maybe a little less now that we have our no disturb lines on there to the wetland. Some of the force main will be within the 25 as well, and then go along the side of the house, and it goes through or under Bradford, and then within the sidewalk area of Settlers Ridge Road to a sewer connection up on private property with an easement. At the last meeting, the commission requested some additional information to be added to the plan. We wanted the detention basin, the wetlands, and the associated buffer zones on the Settlers Ridge Road subdivision added. They have been, that's completed. All of the catch basins within the project vicinity need to be protected by silt sacks, and we do have a label and notation on the plan stating that. Provide dewatering means and methods on the plan. That's at the rear of the house, and it's going to be a stone-lined watering basin surrounded by mulch sock at the rear. The other issue was brought up that parts of the system within the buffer zone need to be equipped with protective features against frost line damage and prevent groundwater infiltration. And I'll let the project engineer speak to that. And that was sort of the issues from the last meeting. So, homeowner and project engineer are here this evening.
Okay, thank you. Marissa?
Question on the pavement in Bradford Street, so that's being done by the project, not by DPW, and then you'll just coordinate saw cutting and their specifications with them?
Correct. The owner has engaged the contractor, Arco Excavations, doing the project, just waiting for permits. So he will be doing it, and he'll work with DPW on treatment of the trench, and whether he's married to it for a year or whatever it is that they require on a typical trench opening.
Okay, that's all, thank you.
So that's a trench permit? Right.
Bill, the parts of the system that are within the buffer zone are supposed to be equipped with some protective features. Is there any indication on the plan where those protective features will be and what they are?
So I was absent from the last meeting when that was discussed. We're talking, I'm not quite certain what it is we're referring to right here.
Frost line damage, groundwater infiltration.
Okay, so in regards to the actual tank, that'll be waterproofed and seal coated from the exterior.
Yeah.
Freezing isn't an issue. The septic tanks in effluent don't freeze. The force main itself is greater than 4 feet depth along its entire run, and it has a pitch back to the pump tank with a bleeder hole. So every time that pump shuts off, 85 gallons of water that's stored within the 2-inch SDR 21 force main will drain back into the pump tank and remain in the pump tank till the next cycle of the pump,
And the depth will be at minimum of 48 inches
48 inches.
or greater.
Yeah. And that is indicated in the profile. of the
Is that indicated on the,
On the profile. Yeah, I think there's
I'm sorry,
They're showing a 4-foot minimum depth, here at the beginning of the profile, right here, 4-foot
Okay.
minimum depth.
all right, I see it, I got it.
Over the pipe.
So as you just described, the core tank is required to maintain slope back, seal with hydraulic cement and waterproof, 1,000-gallon tank,
It's a monolithic tank also.
monolithic, yeah, I'm good, Mr. Chairman, I don't have any questions, anything further than that?
The dewatering pit will be installed, not just, will be installed by in-house, correct?
Yeah, there's a location shown for a little dewatering basin that we lined with crushed stone and erosion control around its perimeter. Right now, we're hoping to get this project done this year. If all permits are obtained, he's got a contract ready to go. Groundwater now, we don't expect any dewatering. I dug holes today in Groveland over 10 feet deep with a 40-inch water table in Bow and Dry. I dig holes on a regular basis. And right now is the time to do it. Because that is one of the wettest sites that I've dealt with in some time. It's a drumlet with compact basal till and a water table at 18 and 24 inches. It's just a wet, nasty site. So it is the time to do it.
Yeah. I don't have a draft decision ready tonight,
It's okay.
sorry.
We haven't, what, we gonna? make-
October 9th.
We have the decision, right?
Yeah. You'll have a draft decision ready for October 9th.
Mike, Brad?
If we
This
post
is
it.
the one system?
Say again?
This is a low pressure, force main?
2 horsepower pump, SDI 21 pipe, which is the deep gasketed pipe.
I just hate these systems. They're not gonna be worth anything in 20 years, but I got nothing else.
What's that?
We're good. I hate the E1 low flow.
You don't like
You hate the
force
what
mains?
systems?
The low flow, the low pressure force mains,
What are you referring to? Because I'm not,
that's what you're building, the low pressure force mains?
I thought I heard you say E1, I'm sorry. I thought I heard
That's
you.
what they class.
This is not an E1.
It's not an E1.
No, this is not an E1. E1's a
Okay.
self-contained cylindrical without
See,
any
that
storage.
sound like what you were describing earlier, so
No,
I'm
no,
happy
no.
to hear that.
No, I'm not a big fan of those.
Then I'm a fan of you now.
No, this is a typical grinder pump with a 1,000 gallon storage capacity to
Okay.
handle the 24-hour required storage.
That'll make Joe happy too. He's not here, but he'll be happy to hear that.
Okay,
All right, I'm all set.
okay.
I don't think there's anyone here.
Motion?
Hold on. Amy, are you looking for anything else other than what's been proposed? Do you have anything else on
No.
your list?
Nope.
Then I'll move that we close and issue in 21 days.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
So I'll draft a
And thank you,
decision,
Brad,
they'll
for
vote on it
addressing Joe's
at the
concern.
October 9th meeting. I'll issue it probably that Thursday or Friday for you. And then there's a 10 business day appeal period where you can start to get things together and for pre-construction. And then we'll walk through all the pre-construction stuff.
So we should show up for the next meeting?
No,
Okay.
no one has to show up.
Okay,
Not necessary.
So,
great.
okay. So you just, the next time you hear from me, I'll be giving you the order of conditions, the wetland permit.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thanks much.
great, thank
Thank you
you.
again.
Thank you.
Enforcement order, 49 Equestrian Drive.
Okay, so,
This is our crazy chicken coop, right?
Yeah, the crazy chicken coop, all right, so that deadline was met for chicken coop removal. The next deadline was September 20th for the restoration plan to be fully executed, plants installed and seeded, that has been met. The next deadline is October 18th for removal of the crossing, the culvert pipes and restoring the stream bed. And so that, we'll get an update on that on the 23rd. So we're just kind of checking in at these milestones to make sure he's on track. And so far, so good.
So we're very happy with how we cleaned up where the coop was.
Yes.
So he's good to remove the whatever's in the stream now? Because
Yeah,
after he does
he's
that,
good.
he's not gonna be able to get anything
No,
else out
right,
of there.
exactly, right. So,
Okay.
yeah, we just want to get him in, back and forth with the plants and all that. So plants are in.
Good.
And so the next time, we'll be at the October 23rd agenda, where hopefully I report that the stream crossing has been removed. But, so, and then, once that's done, we set a deadline for October 31st for him to submit a request for a COC and a stamped as-built. I believe the as-bilt's done, so they'd be ready to go, I think. So, and maybe look at that at the November 13th meeting.
So no action, so we're good. Next one, 105 Hillside Road.
The Homer did plan to be here, and we're moving faster than I thought, so,
Table it?
yeah, I mean,
Does the homeowner need to be here, or should we just table it till they get here?
give him a little bit, 'cause
All right.
I think he's probably on his way.
So we'll table this.
Okay.
Right.
Table.
55 South Bradford.
All right, so we received notification, or we were alerted that vegetation clearing had been undertaken at 55 South Bradford. And so this property is fairly large, weird-shaped lot, very long sinewy driveway that leads to the house in the rear. There's a good-sized wetland in the front, along the frontage of South Bradford, that does go under a culvert under the driveway. So Justine had gone out there, did a drive-by. It's a gated driveway, so we weren't able to get in. So we just did a drive-by on the street. Did observe clearing that consisted of removal of dead and dying trees, understory clearing, and shrubby tree removal. And I was on site with the homeowner's property manager, and I did verify that. That's the word I was looking for. So it's a tidier area now, basically. So I think there was, some wind blown down from the storms last year. Homeowner told his landscape contractor to go clean it up, and he really cleaned it up. So we do have, shrubs that were cut, shrubby trees that were cut, and I have no doubt there were plenty of dead trees in there. There are some leftover dead ashes that have the emerald ash borer infestation that weren't taken, so I can just assume that most of them were there. The other thing that I observed was that during the intense rainstorm last August, the head wall, which is basically stone blocks and stone, gave way, and part of the driveway collapsed in. So yeah, right in the beginning.
The beginning one?
The
Or
beginning
driveway?
one, yeah.
that one up there. too.
Yeah, no, that one.
Okay,
It's the
okay.
it's the first crossing.
Mhm.
And so, unbeknownst to me, they went ahead and did the work, poured a new concrete head wall, and left everything that fell into the wetland in the stream. So I had walked, I walked the property with the property manager, and I, kind of gave him a forewarning that the commission may want some restoration plan for all the cutting in the wetland and the buffer zone, and absolutely a work plan to get all of this stuff out of the wetland and stream on the culvert side. He was gonna try to make it tonight. I don't know, but, I mean, I anticipate, or had I known about the culvert, or the head wall, I probably would have been able to issue an emergency certification, but with conditions, obviously. So I think we really want to know how they're going to take that stuff out, because there's not a lot of good ways to get down there. So we need a work plan for that, I think.
My hand.
Oh, is it the original homeowner? I saw that there was a previous
Yeah.
violation.
Yeah, well, I can assume that they've owned it at least since 2001, because that's the
They've owned
first,
it
Because they have the
I
sales,
think
yeah.
they owned it from the get-go.
they may have, I'm not sure. But, and, this property is within the watershed, so they've had watershed permitting in the past. They do have, I'm trying to get a picture of it.
It's been at least 20 years, because at one time, they asked me to look at the driveway. So it's at least 20 years, 15 anyways.
Question. Amy, the wetland flags that are indicated on these drawings,
Yep.
have you been out there to confirm those flags in the field?
Oh, they're long gone. That's from the they had a sewer force main in 2001, and that's the wetland delineation back in 2001. I just wanted to give you, a feel for the site.
Who's the scientist involved in this project now?
Nobody right now.
Nobody? Okay, good, all right.
So they have this, like patio thing up above the wetland as you go around the driveway. It's up on the right of the driveway. It's sandwiched between the driveway and the wetland that got cleared. And there's this, hi, it's like a water feature, I guess. But they want to rehab that, and I said, well, that's in the buffer zone, so that'll need permitting. So I want you guys to be aware that we'll probably see that in the future, but it's like this patio that's totally crumbling and stuff like that, so.
You say that's all the 25?
No, I don't know about the 25, maybe 50, or outer 50.
But
and
we don't know, because they don't have
Yeah,
a
exactly,
delineation, so
that's
that was a
true.
silly question.
It could have changed,
Yep.
right.
Almost definitely did. There's not a
Um,
stream associated with this, is there?
Yeah, there's this, yeah,
So we just went ahead and put some culverts in a stream without sizing or anything?
oh, that's ancient history, those culverts have been
Oh,
there.
they just replaced the head wall,
The
you
head
said?
wall.
Okay.
Right, it was just the head wall that
Ah,
was compromised.
So have you issued an enforcement order, or just
It's
a,
a violation letter at this
just a
point.
violation notice?
Yes.
So is the next step an EO?
Yep.
Did we want to draft that tonight, or are you going to issue, and have us
I
ratify it?
I can draft it up if you want to continue it to the next meeting, and I'll draft it up.
I mean, that way we can ratify it for you.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so I was going down the road of engaging a wetland consultant to do a
Yep.
restoration plan and a cleanup work plan,
First thing is a wetland scientist.
right.
And then,
And give some deadlines for
yeah.
engagement and
but how,
plan
your
submittal.
question of how they're gonna get that cleaned up is really a key question.
Yes,
You know,
right, because
I have no
it's-
idea. The reason it's still there is because they realize, as we do, that that's gonna be
Yeah.
a challenge.
I mean, they may have to just park a excavator with a big thing ready for people just to throw it in and just,
Right.
because,
There's a way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
They
I mean,
have
I
to-
don't know. I
And
know.
they have to,
I know. They have
propose to us.
right.
We're not gonna give them
No,
means
I
and
know,
methods,
I
right?
know,
Yeah,
I know.
right, yeah.
Yeah, I know,
Although we could, we're not going to.
right, all right. Yeah, I mean, if you want me to draft something up,
I mean, my humble opinion would be to issue them an enforcement order,
yes,
so, yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I didn't know if you would be comfortable kind of setting out those directives tonight, and I just issue it with those directives from tonight, or if you want me to actually draft something up for you to look at and then issue it at the next meeting. It's up to you guys.
We don't normally review language on an enforcement order, do we?
We ratify.
So the only concern I have about waiting is like it's getting into rainier season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if we want them to do the work this year,
yeah,
Oh,
at
definitely.
least the clean.
yeah, I don't know what's today, the
Definitely want to get
25th?
the debris out of there.
So,
So,
there's a lot of concerns, so should we take a shot at drafting an enforcement order now? Ratify it, and that way Amy can issue it immediately?
Yeah,
That way we don't lose 2 weeks?
I think so,
Yeah.
What do you think?
yeah.
All right, so start with step one.
Right.
Engage
So,
a
engage-
scientist
Yep.
and, we need a current,
Do you want, I mean, they're gonna need time to find somebody. Should we require, engage someone immediately and have the restoration plan and the removal plan, submitted by the
Yeah, submit-
23rd
sub-
of
sub-
October?
submit a
I don't know.
restoration and
Or
re-
at least, what's that?
That's a bit too quick, isn't it? 23rd
very
of October to get a restoration plan and a delineation done?
Or at least start working on it, come to the 23rd, report on progress.
Yeah, I'd want to have one, at
The
least the
20
wetland scientist engaged by then.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to get any work done before the 23rd.
Okay. Do we want the wetland delineated, or do we really care at this point?
they're gonna do replications, so you're gonna want,
I think we should have some delineation, yeah.
Delineation.
Yeah, especially whereas I'm looking at this where it was, who it was flagged by previously,
Yep. Yeah, I get you.
unacceptable.
Yep.
I'm sure it was flagged with enforcement,
This,
which is old.
yeah, but this, it's not the age that's getting me.
It's the,
Yeah.
Sanctions were issued at one
yeah,
point,
yeah,
so,
yep, yep. Yep,
Just-
okay.
just saying.
I don't know what
Alright.
the scale is to this plan either, but
That's what
that could be
wetlands
a,
And how much time?
isolated land subject to flooding.
Yeah.
What's that?
Meeting after that. What's the next meeting?
On November 13th.
Yeah.
So I think we need a check-in on the 23rd.
Yep.
Yeah.
So engage a wetland scientist, delineate the wetland.
Cease and desist.
Cease and desist.
Cease and desist all activities.
Absolutely.
Cease and desist everything.
I don't think they need to show up to the next meeting, but you need to know that they've hired somebody.
Yeah. And they need to start working on restoration plan,
Restoration, removal,
and removal plan. And give an update on
But
where
but-
all of that's at.
yeah, but take no action till we approve anything.
Oh, no, right, to
Yeah.
be approved by you.
Right.
I guess that's best place to start right there. Unless,
Or,
I mean, if they have, no, as part of their restoration plan, if there are trees that they want to request to remove, they can include that.
Right,
They, you know, that can be part part of their restoration plan is
Right.
if they feel that something needs to come down, go, you know, that would be the right time to
Yeah.
consider it.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep. I think someone should appear at the 23rd meeting.
When's the next meeting?
Well, the 9th. They're not, I don't think they're gonna get much done in 2 weeks. I mean, I can check in with them,
Yeah.
but have,
I'll be out of town on the 23rd.
okay. Noel on the 23rd. Okay.
Want to talk about the force main too?
The what?
The force main,
What about it?
COC?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, so the order governing the force main installation never got a certificate of compliance. So, the only as-built plan I could find was one sheet, and I don't know. I don't know where the other, it should be, really should be 2 sheets, but anyway.
That's up to them if they wanna provide the information to close it to be able to do future work,
Right,
right?
right, right. So I'll just bring it up to them
Yeah.
in this EO,
Oh, yeah.
because I didn't quite know about that until this week, so.
So you're saying by the 23rd, they should have wetland scientists in place?
Yeah, and starting to work on plans, restoration plans, you know, even if they give us a
I
draft
think they should
or
have a
something.
plan by then for removing the debris.
Yeah. Would you say removal of that collapsed head wall material should be the first thing that they tackle, and then
When it comes to restoration,
the restoration could be in the spring, so
but
maybe
that should be
take their
step one in
time a little
restoration,
bit.
is getting that stuff out.
That, yeah,
Yeah.
Let's get the drainage pathways clear for the rainy season.
all right.
Yeah.
So-
Which is gonna start right around the time of the meeting.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so collapsed head wall removal is sooner than, we need to see that sooner than we need a restoration plan. Okay. Okay. Alrighty.
So that's gonna be in the form of an enforcement order?
Enforcement order.
All right, so moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. All right, go back to 105 Hillside Road.
Alrighty. All right. So the homeowner's here, he just arrived. So, Commission will recall that he did work involving poured concrete, walkway, steps on the front and the side of the house. He did rehab the existing rear patio and pool patio surrounding pool deck. Part of the new walkway and steps are in the buffer zone. The commission required that the applicant or the homeowner engage a wetland consultant to delineate the wetlands, to figure out how close the new things are to the wetland, and to try to find the discharge point of the roof and foundation drainage. I met on site today with Norse Environmental and the homeowner. Wetland is delineated. We measured from the closest BBW flag to the new steps, and that's just, that circle is just, it's not really what's there, it's just a shape that I'm giving you to show that the new steps are 21.5 feet from the BBW. This aerial shows the previous, like, paver walkway that stopped short just after the chimney. You can see that in sort of the blown up. So, we talked about how to address it, and I don't really know what track the commission wants to take, but we did talk about some mitigation measures that we could possibly consider. Let's see.
I'm gonna give my read on this, because I talked to Amy at length. It's 21 feet, but he had an issue with water in his cellar, correct? And this has alleviated the water in your cellar so far?
I had this conversation with my daughter today, and I made that statement, and she said to me, the water table has not approached anything like it had last August. So she pointed out to me that you don't know that it's fixed.
Okay.
It just hasn't occurred since then.
My,
But so far, it looks like I have a dry basement. That's a nice thing.
my take on this is, I know it's a violation, but I think the concrete work should stay. But there's other issues. I think maybe delineating some of the property on the back corner, on the left side.
It's all delineated, the whole wetland that surrounds,
Right.
you mean, wetland?
Yeah, like what we talked about today.
It's all delineated. All of the wetland on the site is delineated.
It has been delineated?
Yes.
Okay. And the other thing is the shed is in the 25. So that's gotta come out, moves.
You said move it?
Move it or take it down, one or the other. It's in the 25. That's a no-no.
Maybe in the wetland, too.
Or in the wetlands, even worse. But that's my take on it. I mean, it just be a shame to do the work that he did and not to keep it, even though it's 21, which is 21 something?
21 and a half feet.
Yeah.
We did talk about perhaps a crushed stone drainage trench along the side of the new concrete to help with whatever runoff. And then maybe doing some mitigation planting in this corner of the property here where my cursor is. You know, a little bit of lawn relinquishment. And we was talking about the shed right here.
Two questions. So is the lawn pretty flat from the house, from the pool area back to the wetland area?
Fairly,
All right, so groundwater's pretty close to the surface.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's not a lot of topo change.
yeah, so there's probably, adding a stone trench will provide a little bit of storage, but it's really just gonna get full with water, so I don't know, I would defer to other members of the commission as well, but I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay.
Where does the roof go?
Okay, so we looked for that. We couldn't find it. It's a white pipe. He dug when we were there, so we found where it comes out of the new steps, or underneath the new steps. We can't find the discharge point, so we're thinking that it's probably mid-lawn, but we aren't seeing any flow path, no scour, no.
There must have
maybe, I don't know.
If you made a dry well, that's not gonna help them at all.
Water table's too high.
Water's going somewhere, and they can't see it.
Right now they can't.
Correct, that's the problem.
So right now, nobody's got water anywhere, you can't
No.
see anything.
No.
That'll change in 30 days. So we don't have a daylight for the roof runoff? We don't know where it's going?
So, not for this side of the house.
Not roof runoff. We
On
gotta
the
have a
other
sump pump
side,
installed.
on the other side, on the opposite side where my cursor is, that got connected to a street drain pipe
An
directly.
illicit connection?
Yeah, and there's a sub-
North Andover allow that?
No.
It-
They don't?
North Andover does not allow inflow and infiltration.
That is called an
I&I,
illicit
That is
connection.
really,
they will rip that out if they know about it.
We got some problems.
I&I is absolutely
Yeah.
a no-go.
that's on the other side.
Yep.
So it sounds like what we need is a stormwater system design here. Or he can daylight it onto his lawn more than 25 feet away from the wetland.
Just don't pave anything.
I mean,
Huh?
Just don't pave anything else, for Christ's sake.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, we have a situation where some of the roof, we don't know where it's going, some of it. And some we know is going into a DPW system that
Right, right.
won't allow it. So,
That's where the stumps are on. So we need to know where the water is going, because we need to get that figured out.
Okay.
So what are we here for today? We're here to see if they're gonna make us tear out the concrete.
Right.
I can-
What is this blue tarp?
Oh, that blue tarp is stuff that really needs to go. It's just a bunch of brick and junk and old wood, and it's gotta get cleaned out. There's also an area of, there's a big area of past, yard waste dumping that is from the former owner that he's willing to take out,
Okay.
which is in the wetland.
and the shed's gotta get out of the 25, right?
Says might be in the wetland.
Yeah.
The shed's
I mean, if,
So is
based on
there-
the
is
rest
it-
of the delineation, it probably is.
So is there a location where the shed can go?
Well, I don't think there's a location outside the 50, but maybe if it comes out and comes against, I don't know, near the fence, the rear fence of the pool, or, I don't know.
It's not really time for this conversation though, is it? He needs to get,
Yeah,
right now we need to find out, we just gotta tell him if we're gonna make him tear out the concrete. And then he can, I guess that's what,
I don't think that the concrete, I know it's a violation, but the concrete doesn't seem to be making an impact on the groundwater, but I'd be interested to know where the sump pump goes, discharges. That would, I don't mind the roof runoff, I could live with that, but the sump pump is, where the water table's so high, that thing might be pumping all the time.
yeah. Is it a stabilized outlet, all that? I didn't know that.
So what kind of professional help does he need for all this? Because right now he's got Maureen Harold from North Environmental, and she's a wetland person,
yeah, but I mean,
essentially.
Do they not make like construction planning to show the delineation and like a survey to show where all the stuff is? We're not-
She can do something on aerial, but
Okay.
she's not a surveyor. She's just wetland shop. That's all she does.
so let's just go back to the list of what we're asking them to do.
Okay.
Are are we asking him to get rid of some of the concrete, or are we gonna, grant a waiver on that? That's, I think, step one, we have to understand that. And then, from there, we can decide how much do we wanna know about the roof runoff?
Roof and,
How deep into the weeds do we wanna get on the roof runoff?
well, it's sump too, basement sump too.
The basement sump, where it's ending up,
Are you parsing those out?
say it again?
You separating those out? Roof versus,
Yeah, I'm separating them. I
basement.
think the roof runoff, unless it's connected to the sump pump, unless it's connected to a French drain, it's causing it to come up the sump pump. I mean,
I don't know. Do you know that?
because there could be a foundation drain underneath his cellar floor that we don't know.
Don't believe, see, when I bought the house, there was no sump pump. The gutters, that's the roof water you're referring to. Gutter, that was pre-existing, come right down the corner of the house.
Yeah.
And it was just depositing the water into what they call a duct foot, and that's where the foundation was seeping, right below that, 6 feet from that, 6 to 10 feet from that corner in both directions, the side and below the generator of that patio. When they put the sump pump in, that seemed to be the lowest point in the basement. They pumped it out, they drilled a hole through the wall, and they combined the gutter downspout with the sump pump output, and it made no sense to just put it right there where it's seeping in. So it was suggested, they put it in a 10-foot, I thought it was a 10-foot, my recollection, 10-foot, 4-inch PVC, and roughly at about a 45-degree angle, but we were able to determine where it emerges from the concrete that I put there that wasn't pre-existing. But we couldn't, I don't think it has an output. I think what they did, again, I'm guessing, is they perforated the pipe so that it ran 10 foot and just seeped into the ground along the way, and it doesn't seem to back up.
That wouldn't be a problem if that's what the case was.
That's what I believe. Again, we'd have to dig it up to
If it
prove
was
it.
all connected to perforated pipe and carried away from the house and just,
Yeah, it would matter a little bit. I would need to know, what does that bedding look
Well, if
like? What
it's-
is it draining into?
well, if it's not within the 25, it's not a problem. I don't think. Am I wrong?
I don't know. It might be. I
You
don't
can't-
know where it go. We can't find it.
What if you had
That's just
a
asking for it to
downspout,
break out.
what if the home had a downspout that came out, was on top of the ground,
Yeah.
went out 10 or 15 feet away from the house and just spread out onto the lawn?
Roof. We're talking roof.
That's what I'm
Which is
starting.
clean, roof, yes.
Roof, yes. Sump pump, no.
Sump is.
Well, where do you discharge a sump pump to? If you were installing a sump pump in a house.
Surface.
Surface, right? Surface. So we're saying it has to daylight somewhere. He's saying he doesn't know where it is. He says it could be a perforated pipe, he's not sure. So,
Does it daylight in the 25?
well,
They
it's
only
got,
put a 10-foot length in, no.
It might,
But
well,
it might,
It might.
that's the problem. What does it do? We don't know.
It
We're
might
guessing.
be, yeah.
we can't possibly,
If he does just have a perforated pipe in the ground, that's, seriously, you're right, that is just his problem.
so how far in the weeds do we get with this?
So, I mean, are we gonna request that they dig up the entire
Right,
yard to
right,
find the
exactly.
pipe?
That's what I'm saying. What are we doing? What are we
I-
asking this guy to do?
So I think from my perspective, as long as it's not tied into the North Andover system and it's functioning now, that's okay, and then maybe we can talk about some of the other surface features, but that's,
That one there, the other one on the other side is tied right to, the pipes are connected to the drain pipe?
You're talking about the easement from the storm drain? Yeah, that seemed like an obvious choice. Just put it right into the, I didn't see what they did, but that's what they told me
might
they
just
did.
dumped it into the stone. I don't think they cut the pipe. They do that. That's been done for years.
See, I guess where I'm struggling, guys, there's a lot of unknowns here.
Yeah.
What are we asking him to do to make them known? So we asking him to excavate his yard? So how do we solve the problem? There's some things we're just gonna have to make some assumptions on, based on the data before us. He's got a sump pump drain, exit that he says is going into a system somewhere.
Perforated pipe underground.
Perfect.
That's all I know.
You know
I
what?
don't know.
I like perforated pipe underground.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a perfect place for perforated pipe.
My,
You're not wrong about that statement, but.
Well, but see, the trouble I'm having, what exactly is before us here? What was the genesis of this event?
the concrete walk,
The concrete walk.
Concrete patio.
So,
Right, and then
we're
we found out
expanding
that-
this
And
from.
then we found
Well-
out it was
well, all that other
installed
work
in
was done.
association with a sump pump that we didn't know about.
Well, you don't,
You know what?
I don't think you need a permit to put a sump pump in a house.
You got to maintain, we've seen several of them come forth with a discharge, where it's gonna go,
People-
how we're gonna manage it.
but you
We
don't-
put people's feet to the fire for where the sump pump goes,
Yeah.
and how we're gonna
Yeah.
manage its
So
discharge, and how we're gonna do
If I
energy
put a sump pump in
dissipation.
my basement,
Right.
I'm in violation, is that what you're telling me?
If you discharge within our jurisdiction, yes, you gotta come talk to us. Otherwise, we're worried about erosive velocities and these kind of things in the buffer area.
If I'm outside of the 25, and I'm discharging to level spread of lawn,
Now, you're giving me the detail that I would need to approve such a thing.
well,
I think.
Because we've seen the sump pumps that have come before
I
us.
saw- I
They're
know.
not,
I don't,
they're not giving us good designs.
it's because it's a sump pump.
Yeah. My take is like I said, I would leave the walk, move the shed, do some plantings, get rid of the debris, and, you know,
Would you have approved that sidewalk beforehand?
How many feet away is it?
Probably
21 and a half.
No,
Probably not.
I wouldn't have. I would not have approved that 21 and a half feet.
well, I just hate to see him take it out, because I think it's alleviating his problem. I mean, it's not like it's a wetland, a protected wetland right where he is, right where the walk is.
So it's,
Um,
the concrete is 21 and a half feet away from the
Right.
wetland. The shed is, say it's
In the
0
wetland.
feet away.
It's in,
So if the shed is removed from the 25-foot area, then it's sort of back to the existing condition impervious area-wise, so
Shed's gotta be out.
that would,
Not in the same footprint.
not in the same footprint, but it's sort of like,
I'm just saying, we would have never approved this.
no, but it, like, if you
And
Pull
we would
back
have
the
told him to
shed.
remove the shed.
oh, but
Why are we bending here?
I'm not, I want the shed to move.
Yeah.
I want the shed to move. I've got issues with the concrete, but I want the shed to move.
We don't have, we don't know where the line is. We don't know where it should move to.
Yeah,
There's a good
maybe-
opportunity.
Yeah, it feels like,
And also,
We
if that is in, then he's like, we've killed his whole backyard too, so that's some consideration
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, the guy's being forthcoming.
Yeah.
I just don't want.
forthcoming
I don't
because we
think-
hauled them in.
Huh?
Forthcoming because
Yeah.
we hauled them in,
Well,
you know.
you have my
What
opinion.
about mitigation on site? Has there been any approach or any request for on-site mitigation?
We talked about on-site, so removing the shed was one of them.
That's one.
Removing the past dumping in the wetland from the, yard waste is another, which is a violation, but mitigation planting in one corner of the yard, basically taking away yard to
Yeah, that's, I mean,
replant.
if you want the concrete to stay, you gotta,
And the, stone trench along the edge of the walkway. But again, I couldn't promise them anything, these were just ideas, and,
I wonder,
I think it's their burden to provide us the information, because we're kind of floundering here.
I want to recall the timeline really quick, because they had a project in for something else that you were inspecting, so they
Yes.
were aware of what the setbacks
Yes,
were.
yes,
And then the
yes.
concrete showed up
Yes,
after we
yes.
were aware of that.
Yes, that's right.
So,
It
I
was the
just want to,
generator
we
that
seem
was,
to have forgotten that step here.
no, I'm trying to knock this off the bubble, that's all.
I know
don't
you
wanna-
are.
I don't wanna spend the next 4 hours talking about this guy's backyard. Let's give him a list of what we want. If we have conditions that we want met, let's give him a list, have him sit down with Maureen, come back with a proposal.
okay,
Well, first we should start off where we started. Does the concrete stay or does it go?
Depends what they offer for mitigation and things like that. They have to come back with a proposal.
yeah,
A restoration plan.
A restoration plan with mitigation plantings. I like 3 to 1 on mitigation. Show me something,
yeah.
you know, show me
Yeah, I
something
know.
and give me something to
Right,
think
right,
about.
right, right, right,
Because
right.
right
I
now,
agree,
it's-
I agree.
All right.
I mean, we're kind of doing the work here,
Hey, okay,
and I, you know,
I got you, I'm with you. I'm
So-
trying to help.
no, I know, right.
And if,
Right.
now, when it comes to the sump pump, I mean, Brad's not wrong, but what are we gonna do? We're gonna excavate the yard, or how are we gonna solve that problem?
I don't know.
Are we gonna
I mean,
direct-
Are you out of contact with your contractor now? Like, you never talked to him ever again, and he
I
won't
haven't
tell you what he
spoken with
did?
him since last summer, when he finished the
Think
work.
that contractor's gonna remember where we put the pipe? I don't think
I was
so.
almost tempted to call him and say, can you tell me exactly where the pipe is, so we can get some, definitive answers.
That would have been a good idea.
Well, actually, a good contractor would have given you an as-built plan showing where the damn pipe went.
We were flying by the seat of our pants, because my basement flooded, and he was on site because he was doing other work, and I said, stop what you're doing, I need a sump pump,
Buddy,
and,
listen,
it all happened because I had a basement.
That's a very
that was
scary
like
story.
8 inches in water.
I know, and you didn't sleep in 2
I'm
weeks,
worried for this
I
man.
remember the story. But knowing where the pump's out would have been a key piece of evidence, information. Like, if you hire me to do work in your house, I'm gonna give you a sketch of what I did.
This was all by the seat of our pants.
Ah,
So,
That's
I-
not
so-
encouraging.
Just
so,
being honest.
so,
Right, so here-
you know, I'm done drawing up plans for people.
Yep.
No, we're not gonna
Okay.
draw a plan, we're not
I mean,
asking.
if there's any kind of plot plan you need with some buffer zones and,
I'm just
features.
saying, they're asking, essentially what they're doing is they're asking for a waiver.
yeah,
Okay, we consider waivers, and we use mitigation as a
Right,
way to consider
okay.
waivers. So mitigation at a rate of 3 to 1, start there.
yeah,
And I think the next thing is reasonably locate the outfall pipe from the sump pump.
okay,
Make a reasonable effort to locate it.
okay.
Move the shed.
And
Move the shed.
Okay, all right,
Anybody else?
so,
Yeah, I mean, I think move the shed, that can be part of the mitigation plan, whatever else
plantings.
they decide to throw in,
Okay,
removing the grass clippings, stuff like that.
yep,
But that's all up to the,
Does that mean the playgrounds in the 25?
yeah, move that too, I guess.
It's-
I hate
it's
telling
up
them
to
to
them.
move all this stuff until we can see the plan
No, I
and
know.
where these things lie.
I know,
So I think that's what I need to see.
We need a plan.
Yeah.
So
I don't necessarily need a full plan of action, but we need to at least see what's what.
We need a scale plan. We do need a scale plan. RPLS is fine. We need a scale plan. Or they could take the as-built that when I don't know if the town will still have the as-built for this house, but if the town does, that would be a lot of help.
yeah, okay,
We've been
Alright.
able, in the past, we've been able to use as-bills and mock them up and have them be the new
Yeah.
record drawing. That would be good if we could find it. I don't know that
Okay.
we can.
okay,
Anyway, I think that's where we gotta go with this. I
Okay.
think that we just put this stuff out, take it back, and then come to us with the proposal.
right, okay, yep.
Can I ask you a question? An as-built?
Yeah.
Is that about the easement, or?
An as-built is exactly what it sounds like. An as-built is a plan
Existing conditions.
that
plan.
shows the site and shows the existing conditions, what's there, shows underground utilities if they exist, shows,
All of everything.
yeah, as-built, as-built.
As an engineer, I make construction plans, and then after a contractor screws everything up, he makes the as-built plans to tell me where he actually put the stuff.
So respectfully, that's what you need to do.
Yeah,
Because-
I'm
because-
willing to jump through
because
hoops
you-
here
well,
to accommodate what you guys want.
Well, you're asking us to give you a waiver and allow you to have the continued existence of the concrete. That's what you're asking.
Well, yeah, because that's the most critical factor that
So-
affects the integrity of the foundation.
That should be part of your proposal.
It's not.
I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. You're gonna have to hire somebody that knows how to do it.
So we'll write up an enforcement order. Basically, you're gonna need to engage a professional land surveyor, really, to get a basic plot plan together, wetland delineation, all the buffer zones, existing conditions. I don't know if there's other plans that he can work off of to put into his plan. And then Maureen needs to help you prepare a mitigation plan to present to the commission, say, I'd like to keep the concrete.
Can I show you this?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to approach this, but this is what Maureen presented to me, but I don't know how to present it.
Okay. Well,
Is that what this is what you're talking about, right?
I guess, but I'm not gonna sit and read it right now.
We need to see it on a plan, that's,
Mitigation,
Yeah.
option 1, option 2, option 3, but I mean, I don't speak this language, so.
Buddy, you need to get an
Well-
interpreter and have the interpreter sit
So,
next
let
to
me give
you.
it back to you. So I'm gonna write the enforcement order.
Yeah,
It's gonna lay out the things that we need.
Right.
Maureen will know what to do.
right.
And you're gonna need some sort of a plot plan, which, it does feel like we're a little blind right now
No, we need a plan.
without that.
We need a plan.
I
We
mean,
need a plan.
I'd love to resolve this. I mean, get rid of the shed. I'm not gonna move it. I'll chop it up and cart it out.
However you come into compliance is up to you. We're not gonna tell you how to do it.
What'll it take to be able to keep the concrete and,
We just gave Amy a list.
Yeah, so-
She's gonna reduce it to writing and give it to you, and you're expert,
okay.
all right?
just don't
Yep.
do anything until,
Yeah, just don't do anything
yeah.
until,
On the list, you have
We-
locate the outfall pipe, right?
Yep.
You can demolish
Okay.
the shed.
I spoke to my landscaper. He's gonna quote me on removing the debris or whatever that
Okay.
is in the
Okay.
wetlands.
yeah, the wetlands,
And he's
okay.
also gonna reseed the
Yeah, the
that
areas
barren
that's struggling.
strip.
Yep,
But I told him he can't touch anything until you give me the
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, okay,
So
Yep.
I'm waiting on that.
okay.
So he's having the guy remove the debris and stuff, probably gonna be the same guy that's gonna demolish the shed.
It's not our problem.
No, but I'm saying, you're saying not to do anything.
Okay, so-
I'm willing to bet that if he hired the right plumber, they could find that outfall pipe for that thing in
Yeah,
15 minutes.
right, probably.
They use a smoke test, just like DPW does when they wanna find I&I.
Mm-hmm,
They put smoke in the system, and if it comes out in your house, you're in violation.
Yeah,
They've been
Okay.
doing that for years.
yep, okay. All right, so you guys need to move to issue an enforcement order that requires, what we discussed.
You have the list,
Yep,
so you're gonna get the list.
Okay, just tell me what I need to do.
We're gonna do that.
okay. Okay. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you.
All right, so I'll issue the enforcement order, it's gonna detail the things that we need.
I don't like the sound of that. Enforcement order. But I'm okay
Well-
for tonight?
Yes.
Show up
yes,
next month?
You're
Or
you're free to
you'll tell
go,
me when?
you're
Yeah.
free to go, the same conditions of bail apply.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
I appreciate your understanding.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All right.
242-1787, requesting continue to 10-9 due to lack of quorum.
What are we talking about?
The North
North
Ramp.
Ramp.
North Ramp, so moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Because you abstain from that one?
Huh?
Is that because you abstained from that one?
He has to
I have
recuse,
to
him.
abstain, okay.
He has to recuse. I'm okay on it.
And this one is 2/4/2/1889,
Same thing.
same thing. Both,
Yeah,
So-
10-9.
So moved.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's, but I don't have to recuse myself on that one. But that's,
Well,
they're not
we
here
Too late.
anyways.
Yeah, it's continued.
It's just
We're
not,
We just
we're
gotta
going
make
on the
sure.
side of caution here.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all.
We gotta,
Yeah.
oh, please, I don't want to even, don't tell me. I already know.
Alrighty,
Next one is 2024 hunting dates.
all right.
Did we do 55 South Bradford?
Yes, we did.
We
Yep.
did 55?
Yep.
Hunting dates,
Hunting dates, October 7th through November 30th.
yeah.
And so we issue bow hunting permits for Half Mile Hill. And we brought up a couple years ago the possibility of putting that permitting process online.
Yep.
And I think the commission just wanted to, not do that right away. But come to find out, the state requires online licensing, so it's not like we're asking hunters to do anything out of the ordinary or different, than what the state does, so,
I doubt that you're gonna get any objection from us.
okay.
Yeah, I was looking, you go, what do we care about?
Yeah,
No, I
if
know.
If you're worried about somebody not knowing how to,
Yeah, but,
Why?
well, then they don't have their hunting license
they-
in the
yeah.
first place, so,
Yeah.
and we don't wanna see them anyway if that's the
that's,
case,
I mean,
so.
so,
So
yeah,
we can probably get that together for next year.
Yeah.
This year, I think it's.
just make a,
Yeah. Yeah.
one page is all it really needs to
Yeah.
be. Do we still require the, observations?
Yes, we do,
Okay,
yes, yeah.
and what properties, Half Mile Hill and what else?
Half Mile Hill, Summit, and, is it Sunny Ridge,
Yeah,
I believe? Yeah,
and,
and you know,
Mazarenko is open,
is open,
but even
we
though,
don't
even.
permit it, I mean,
Well,
we
when,
don't do like
when
a permit.
Mazarenko was purchased in 1990, it was put under the care and custody of the Conservation Commission.
Mhm.
$11 million of the money came from the state, from Fish and Wildlife. So we could permit that as well, but it's the same thing, it's open,
But it's open.
it's open, yeah. Well, everything's open, right?
Yeah. I can say that the feedback, surveys, I don't think anyone has harvested anything out there. And I think it's probably just because there's just too many people and too many dogs.
Right, I agree 100%.
So, but-
All over town, any guy that hunts will tell you that there are so many people that are engaged in hiking
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the deer aren't, they've moved on.
right,
I need to come to my backyard.
that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of out-of-town hunters. They're not in town, right.
We had a limit on how many permits. Okay, so you got all that.
Yes.
Do you need a motion to automate the system?
Yeah, that'd be nice, just to say that you're gonna give us a blessing to put it online.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right,
Opposed? That's unanimous.
you're automated, Amy.
Jamie is.
Or Jamie's automated, well, that's good.
It's a administrative burden to do the paper part. but-
Amy,
All right.
do you want to, with regard to going to North Ramp, we can either make it an organized or an unorganized. I just want to go and go
Oh,
through it.
yeah, yeah.
I don't need to have engineers and, like, they
No,
don't have to
yeah.
have the whole OJ defense team there. I just want to go and look at it, walk on the site and look at it.
Okay. I can call,
North
I can
North Ramp
call the
Road.
airport manager.
Oh, the glass pile.
Glass pile.
Yeah.
It might be
Are you
interesting
gonna do that? Field trip?
next week.
So,
We'll try to do that.
how many of us can go without a quorum?
Oh, yeah.
3.
So
Three.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going.
Louis
Okay,
Yeah, I think those.
really needs to
guys
recuse, he really
would
shouldn't
make
even be
sense.
there.
That'd be cool.
okay.
Yeah.
As your
All right,
legal,
I'll
as your
get that
legal
arranged.
advisor, stay out of it.
I'll do a round robin,
I've been in trouble before.
yeah,
Okay.
round robin email to get everyone's.
Okay.
thing, and I'll
Yeah, just,
arrange with the manager.
Yeah, I just don't want them to think we're
Okay,
having,
that's,
we're
no,
ha-
no, it's just good.
we're not looking for an evidentiary hearing.
No,
We
no,
just
no,
wanna
we
go
just
out-
wanna take a peek,
If they
yeah.
had listened
look
to
at
me,
it.
it never would've came to this.
All right, I think we're all done, so we could probably adjourn.
All right.
Are you
And
good to
then
get everything?
I just have,
Any other business? There being none, all those in favor say,
Motion to
What
close.
are you doing?
I'm
Motion to adjourn.
calling the motion.
All right, you call it.
No,
Second.
Motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, Nash, unanimous. We're all set there, buddy.